What if I told you there's a planet where metal rains from the sky, another where a single year lasts less than one Earth day, and another so dark that it almost disappears into the blackness of space? These aren't scenes from a science fiction movie. They're real worlds discovered by astronomers. Every year, scientists find planets that challenge everything we thought we knew about the universe. Some orbit multiple suns. Others survive temperatures hotter than molten lava, and a few shouldn't even exist according to our best scientific theories. Today, we're leaving our solar system behind to explore some of the strangest planets ever discovered. By the end of this journey, you'll realize that Earth is far more ordinary than we ever imagined. Astronomy has always been full of surprises. But every now and then, scientists discover something so extraordinary that it forces them to rethink decades of research. One such mystery appeared in a distant star system containing not one star, but three. Imagine looking up into the sky and seeing multiple suns shining at once, each moving across the heavens in its own path. The landscape would be illuminated from different directions, creating several shadows instead of one. For years, astronomers believed a stable planet could never form in such a chaotic environment because the combined gravity of three stars should constantly disrupt the cloud of gas and dust needed to create planets. It would be like trying to build a house while an earthquake never stops shaking the ground. Yet observations suggested that a massive gas giant somehow existed within this impossible system. If true, it meant nature had found a way to create planets that our theories couldn't explain. Although later studies questioned whether the planet was actually there, the discovery left behind an important lesson. The universe doesn't care about human expectations. Sometimes our equations are incomplete, and sometimes reality is even stranger than our imagination. Now imagine a planet where the weather doesn't change with the seasons, but instead swings between freezing darkness and unimaginable heat. For most of its orbit, this giant world drifts quietly through the cold reaches of space, far from its parent star. Then gravity takes over, pulling the planet inward at incredible speed. Within only a few hours, it races toward its star until the sunlight becomes hundreds of times more intense than what Earth receives. Temperatures rise by more than 1,000 degrees in an incredibly short time, causing the atmosphere to erupt into violent storms that circle the entire planet. Winds roar at thousands of miles per hour as enormous shockwaves ripple through the sky. Before the atmosphere has time to recover, the planet swings away once again, returning to the freezing darkness where it cools rapidly. This brutal cycle repeats every orbit and has likely continued for billions of years. Instead of enjoying stable climates like Earth, this world spends its entire existence trapped in a repeating cycle of cosmic destruction. Most planets shine because they reflect at least some of the light from their stars, but one extraordinary world seems to absorb almost everything that reaches it. Instead of appearing bright against the darkness of space, this giant planet is so incredibly dark that it would resemble a massive shadow drifting silently through the universe. Scientists estimate that it reflects less than 1% of incoming light, making it darker than charcoal and darker than nearly every natural material found on Earth. Our solar system appears remarkably organized, with every major planet orbiting the Sun in roughly the same direction. For a long time, astronomers assumed this was how planetary systems naturally formed throughout the universe. Then, they discovered a giant world that completely broke the rules. Instead of moving with its star's rotation, this planet travels in the opposite direction, suggesting that something catastrophic happened long ago. Perhaps it experienced a violent encounter with another giant planet, or maybe an ancient gravitational collision. Earth has experienced devastating hurricanes with winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. But compared to one distant exoplanet, those storms are almost gentle breezes. On this incredible world, winds race around the equator at more than 20,000 miles per hour, creating one of the fastest weather systems ever detected anywhere in the universe. These are not temporary storms that appear and disappear. Instead, they form a permanent jet stream that circles the planet without ever stopping.
These are only a few of the extraordinary worlds hidden among the thousands of planets discovered beyond our solar system. Every new observation reminds us that the universe is far more creative than we ever imagined. There are planets with impossible orbits, worlds covered in crystal clouds, giant spheres darker than night itself, and atmospheres where winds move faster than the speed of sound. Yet the strangest discoveries are still ahead. In Part 2, we'll journey to planets where molten metal falls from the sky, worlds that survived being swallowed by their own stars, and a lonely rogue planet wandering through the darkness of space with no sun to call its own.